Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Poets and Quants' online MBA panel. Today, we're talking to admission gurus from 3 leading programs to help you find the right online MBA for you. I'm your host, Christy Bleizeffer with Poets and Quants, and I want to welcome all our viewers out there. Please feel free to use the Q&A function to submit any questions you have, and I'll do my best to get to those. And of course, thanks to our panelists for taking the time to be with us today. We're going to start with letting each of you introduce yourself. So give us your name, title, and a little bit about your school. And Mara, we'll start with you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maura Doe. I am with the University of Washington Foster School of Business, a nationally ranked state university here based in Seattle, Washington.
That's great. Thank you. Clara, how about you? Carla, excuse me.
Yes, thank you, Christy. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me today. I am the Director of Admissions. My name is Carla Mueller, Director of Admissions for the Jack Welch Management Institute, the Jack Welch MBA program. We're headquartered here in Washington, D.C., but we have students from 83 countries around the globe and a huge growing population. I am not only the director, I started supporting Jack and Susie over 11 years ago from the very beginning, but I'm also a graduate of the program. So I went through the program and graduated in 2018, and I'm excited to share more details of the program with you all.
Very good. Thank you. Liz.
Hi, everyone. My name is Liz Wagner, and I am the Director of Admissions for the online MBA at the Questrom School of Business at Boston University. We are located on the East Coast of the U.S. in Boston, Massachusetts. We are one of the newer programs. Our first cohort launched in fall 2020. We're probably also one of the bigger programs out there. So excited to tell you all a little bit more about everything today.
Very good. And again, thank you all for taking the time to give this important information to prospective students. Maura, we're going to go back to you. If you don't mind just kind of telling us a little bit more detail about the online MBA at your university, how long it's been around, how long does it take to complete, any of those kind of basic nuts and bolts.
Perfect. Yes, so our program is actually referred to as the hybrid MBA program. It's the perfect mix of online asynchronous, synchronous learning with a in-person component that we call Foster Together, with the intention of really bringing together people in a relationship building manner. It is a 21-month lockstep curriculum program. Summers are off, but the cohort begins. It's about 70 students per cohort, and they go from September to the following June, 21 months later. It incorporates our Foster Together, which is our immersion or residency, as some institutions would refer to. That's a 4 to 5 day in-person. It is mandatory, so it ensures that everybody is in the building at the same time, and that really builds those personal relationships. It is also encompassing the Foster Live component, which is our weekly synchronous classes, and then it's supported through its Foster Independent. And those are those asynchronous classes, team building exercises. So it's the best of both worlds, online and in person.
Yeah, very good. Carla, how about at Jack Welch?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jack created this program about 12 years ago. He had a vision for having an MBA program that was obviously not going to only be teaching about leaders in business, but being taught by them. So obviously Jack created and designed the curriculum with the help of about 24 other top tier CEOs that he had mentored, created the curriculum, highly engaged in curriculum. It's a 12-course program that is completely asynchronous. And the beauty of our program is it's designed for busy working professionals. 99% of our students are busy working professionals. So flexibility is key. The class sizes are small. You're in class with 18 to 19 other professionals and classmates, as well as a highly engaged faculty. Our faculty have actually been ranked number 1 and number 2 over the last 2 years in overall quality, because they're all experts in the field that they teach. So you're learning from experts in the subject material, and the practical nature of the program is what's really unique about our program. It's designed to be immediately actionable and practicable. So you're doing short assignments designed to help you in your career. Again, it's 100% asynchronous. So you're logging in whatever day of the week, whatever time of the day works for you, but you're still getting lots of interaction with your highly engaged faculty and your classmates. The program itself is 12 courses long, and how quickly or slowly you get through those 12 courses is completely up to you. You can take either 1 or 2 classes each quarter, so you can get through the program in 18 months, but you don't have to. As I mentioned, I'm a graduate. I took 1 class per quarter. It took me 3 years to get through the program. Our average graduate, and we have over 3,800 now, is taking 2 to 2.5 years. So anywhere from 18 months to 3 years and beyond. I have some students who are taking 4 and 5 years to get through the 12 courses. So it's whatever is going to work for the student that's going to fit into their busy work life.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. And Liz.
Sure. So I'm representing the Questrom School of Business at Boston University, and our online MBA is, like I said, a little bit probably newer and probably bigger. We talked about sort of the small classes at Questrom, sort of the opposite. Our cohorts are about 300 to 550 students, depending on the intake. And that's by design. We're looking at a program at scale. And so we are 100% online. We've been designed for sort of a mid-career professional. It's all done part-time with both asynchronous and synchronous work. So we do have live sessions, and there are no individual classes in our program. So we're designed very intentionally around the themes that we feel drive business. So we're a mix of 6 different modules where you're sort of using your real-world experience to solve business challenges. And it's 45 credits, so it's a full MBA, 100% online. Let's see, they say January and August intakes, and that's sort of the 24 months. You got it. So that's just sort of a high level overview of the Questrom Online MBA.
So do students at Questrom have the ability to, take longer than 24 months to finish the degree?
Yes, great question. So they have up to 6 years. So we have a lot of students that like to take the summer off or take a semester off here or there. So you have up to 6 years, but the fastest you can do it is about 24 months.
Yeah. Mara, at Foster, what kind of flexibility is built into the program? We heard the others talk about kind of the flexibility and the pacing. What kind of flexibility is offered at Foster?
I would actually suggest that we're not a highly flexible program, and that's intentional. It's intended to ensure that a very robust program of education occurs with a fixed cohort, with a fixed core curriculum, lockstep curriculum, and they're finished in 21 months, having completed a full MBA over the course of 2 years, 2 academic years. So when we think about flexibility, what we're really thinking about more is that it's so appropriate for a busy mid-career working professional who is seeking to progress in their career very quickly, or really gain some of those skills and advantages that an MBA brings to the table in a really efficient way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Liz, why don't you tell us about the interview process at Questrom? How the process works, how candidates can best prepare, that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. So we kind of do things a little bit differently. So instead of a traditional interview at Questrom, we use something called peer talent assessment. So students have the opportunity to do sort of a video assessment. It's 3 questions. A talking head will pop up from Questrom. We'll ask the question. They're random. So you get to see how candidates think on their feet. For us, they're optional, but they're highly, highly encouraged. They're probably one of my favorite parts of reading an application is watching these videos where we get to know students, and they've got about 30 seconds to sort of think through their answer of why Questrom, or some of them are more random, like tell me about your hometown or something like that, just again to see how people kind of think under pressure. And then they've got about a minute to answer. And like life, there's no redos, but it's a really great inside look into these candidates and understanding their motivations, but also just to know them and meet them in a different way than sort of the traditional. We still have an essay or the other application pieces. We love this as a really great way to supplement that application. And so though it's optional, it is something we highly encourage, sort of in lieu of an interview.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting. Maura, how about at Foster?
So we follow a relatively traditional interview process in the application. We have 3 rounds. We're just coming up to our 2nd round deadline this Saturday. It involves an application process, essays, followed by an interview. But what we're really looking for in a candidate is that holistic person. So while we collect a resume and we collect a background, all the transcripts and things like that, what we're really looking for is somebody that is going to fit that profile of a hybrid MBA student, someone that can really handle the rigors of working full-time, being in their mid-career, potentially juggling family, and how they're going to proceed and succeed. And what we're also looking for is a really diverse group of people to come in professionally, background-wise, to come in and bring a really unique learning, because we don't consider learning just one way from the faculty member to the students. It's very much incorporated into the team building and the team learning dynamic. So we're looking for that holistic candidate through the application process.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so important. Carla, how about Jack Welch?
Yes, absolutely. It's a big part of our whole admissions process here. We get about 1,400 applicants every single quarter. And we interview every single applicant either before or after they apply, but before we go ahead and present them to the admissions board. So somebody on my admissions team will be interviewing each applicant, looking for not only their experience. We collect either their LinkedIn profile or their resume or CV, but we chat with the student, and again, in a very holistic way. We want to not only learn about their educational and career experience, but also their goals and their aspirations and what is their why. That's really important to us, to make sure that we're, finding candidates who not only we feel like are a good fit for us, but we're a good fit for them, because we want to be good candidates, are good stewards of our candidates, time investment and money investment. So every single applicant is interviewed before they're presented to the admissions board for the admissions board approval.
Wow, that's a lot of interviews.
Well, and keep in mind, we don't interview every single one of the 1,400 applicants, but we interview them before anyone's presented to the admissions board. So some of the applicants we know aren't qualified and that type of thing.
Gotcha. Interesting. So Mara, do you want to talk about the offered concentrations and those kinds of options that foster when students might select them, the guidance and support they can get from the school?
Sure. So the way the hybrid model works is the first 3 quarters, and we're on a quarter system here in Washington. The first 3 quarters are core curriculum. So those are set from day one. When you enter into your second year, starting the September of the second year, that's when some of the elective components come into play. And there's a broad range of different electives that they can take, but they take the classes with other hybrid students. So it builds on the core curriculum, no matter what the elective is that they're taking. And so they can choose, a student then chooses their elective. The flexibility comes into play in that they don't have to choose, a student doesn't have to choose their elective until the summer after their first year, because many students will go through the core curriculum and go, oh, I'm really interested in this instead, or I really need, build on this. We don't focus on specific concentrations, but students self-select electives, about 12 credits of electives to fulfill that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Carla, what about Jack Welch?
Absolutely. So our original MBA program that we started with, we now call our leadership MBA to differentiate it from, we have developed 3 other concentrations in the last 12 years. So we have the original MBA, the leadership MBA. We have an MBA with a concentration in healthcare. We have an MBA with a concentration in human resources, and our newest concentration is one in operations management. And again, it's something where every single student is going to start with our foundational leadership in their 21st century course. So there is time to make that decision on the concentration. Actually, you have until about your 3rd course in to determine what concentration you want. And then there's also another option for students who maybe aren't sure they want to do the full course 12 course MBA right off the bat. We have graduate certificates in all of those arenas. So we have a graduate certificate in leadership, one in healthcare, one in HR, and one in operations management, where students can choose to start by just taking the first 3 concentration courses. After they complete those 3 courses, and they have a completed graduate certificate in either of those 4 disciplines. The beauty of that program is almost like a stackable degree. Then they can continue on to finish up the other 9 courses in the MBA. But it's a great option for students who aren't sure they want to devote, the next 18 months to 3 years of their life. They can be done with a graduate certificate in 2 to 3 quarters.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Very good. Liz, what about at Questrom?
Sure, yeah. So we do things a little bit differently. So there aren't any concentrations in the online MBA at Questrom. So instead, we have this really innovative integrated curriculum. So you're not going to see individual classes in accounting and strategy and marketing, but instead everything is woven together, sort of how you experience it in the real world. So it covers all of the same core disciplines you would find at any MBA program, but you're doing it in this really innovative, integrated fashion. So it's a general management degree. We're not going to go super deep in any particular topical area. And instead, you are going to be able to utilize your experiences and sort of apply that to the curricular learning that you're doing. So no concentrations, but it's really, really tailorable. That's a word, tailored to your own experiences, and you're able to really bring what you're doing to your day job, and you're really able to apply what you're learning, whether it's through our capstone experiences or action-oriented projects. So no exact concentrations, but a lot of flexibility, and you're able to really tailor that degree to the learning that you're doing.
Yeah, and application for an online student is paramount, of course, is what that's what everyone's looking for. Carla, let's switch gears a little bit. What do you think are the the big differentiators for the Jack Welch online MBA?
Sure.
For instance, do you have go ahead?
Oh, well, a few of them is one of the things I love to talk about, but obviously, as I highlighted in the beginning, our program is taught by not only, designed and led by Jack Welch, and up until, of course, he passed away a couple of years ago. We have fantastic video content from Jack Welch woven throughout all the 12 courses, keynote lectures that are pre-recorded. In addition to that, we have over 3 dozen top C-suite experts of practice who are guest lecturers and guest speakers in all of the classes. So they're people like Warren Buffett, from C-suite people from top companies like Netflix and McDonald's and Medtronic and the Cleveland Clinic and Boeing. So these are the people that our students are learning from, in addition to those highly engaged, faculty that are all experts in their field. That's one of the biggest differentiators of who you're learning from, how you're learning, and how it's designed for it to be immediately practical and actionable. Our assignments are short and practical in nature, designed for you to talk about how you're going to take what you're learning and apply it to your own career. As a result of that, 2 out of 3 of our students are reporting back to us, they're getting multiple promotions and raises even while they're going through the program. So it's very successful in terms of that transformational effect it has right off the bat. The other big differentiator I would say is, that we treat our business school as a business. So the students are the focal point. Students are the customers. We have really high NPS scores, consistently over 80, which is incredible for NPS scores. It ranks up there with other companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Disney. The average NPS ranking for, average MBA programs is actually 27. So being in the 80s is something that we're really proud of, something we strive to keep, because we keep the focus on the student, what the students want. We're constantly surveying them. How can we get better? How can we evolve continually to make the whole experience better for the students? So very student focused, designed to be very practical, immediately actionable. The return on investment that our students are seeing is incredible. And then the last thing I'll mention is we have a tremendous networking community. So we have a student advisory board made up of student and alumni. We have a networking platform called JWMI Connect. So that's separate than where all the classroom activity happens on the iCampus and Blackboard. JWMI Connects is a separate networking platform where students are able to connect with the 3,800 alumni, almost 2,000 students in the program. We had 77 virtual networking events and live webinars last year alone. We have about 50 hub cities around the world, everywhere from New York, Washington, D.C., Houston, Austin, Los Angeles, Tokyo, Dubai. So we have hub cities where live events are taking place, where students are congregating and coming together live in person. So there's tremendous amount of networking that happens with the program, and we have a mentoring system as well, so that students can be matched up with alumni to mentor them through the program. So those are just a few of the top highlights.
Oh, great. So valuable. Liz, what are the differentiators at Questrom?
Sure. I think a couple of things that I would hit on. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the module curriculum and just, you're working with the same faculty that teach in our residential MBA programs. You're getting this great Questrom MBA, but you're able to do it from anywhere in the world, which is something that I really value. And I think our size is really incredible, because I think that the network you can build and the connections you can make, you can do it. There's so many different people that you can make connections with. And I think often students will look at an online program and think, well, how am I ever going to really get to know my classmates if I never meet them in person? Or how am I going to build out that network? And it's one of the things our students say over and over again is how surprised they are that they're able to make those meaningful connections with one another. And they really value sort of the size of the program. And then the last thing I would say is just our price point. We're competitively priced at $24,000 for our 24-month online MBA. So we are really able to bring this to a large number of people, and that's really important. Lifelong learning is really important to us, and so I think that price point and having such a large class allows us to bring the Questrom MBA, like I said, to sort of all candidates from all over the world, and they're going to get that tremendous, amazing education from Boston University, and they're able to do that sort of on their own terms in this online environment. So that's something that I think really, and then like I said, the curriculum, that's the big one. It's just how we do things is a little bit different at Questrom, and it's something that students time and time again in our feedback surveys indicate they came to Questrom for this unique, innovative, integrated curriculum.
Oh, very great. And Mara, the Foster differentiators.
I think that at Foster, we really focus on academics and the relationship and networks that are important to us. So with regards to the curriculum, we have a dedicated curriculum design team that has been with the hybrid design even pre-COVID. So I think that a lot of institutions and organizations have transferred into the online forum. We are really committed to creating this really dynamic relationship build amongst the students, the teams that they're in, between student and faculty. So our online classes are actually live classes. It's like being in a classroom and question and answer and those unique relationships. In addition, we have a dedicated career management team. So we don't do job placements like some full-time MBA programs, but what we're really looking at is building out the full professional, providing the resources and the skills and support that a professional really needs to build up their experience. Carla mentioned things like pay raises and promotions throughout the process. And so that starts from day one. That actually starts even before a student comes in to us. We are a nationally ranked program embedded in the Foster School of Business. We do utilize the same faculty members. They're teaching, in the other programs as well as hybrid. But the curriculum is very dedicated to the hybrid model. Mm-hmm. We're very experiential with a capstone program at the end, lots of case study work, real-time work. And then again, it's just building on that lifelong learning and relationship building. So our alumni are welcomed back to partake in free classes offered by the hybrid MBA program every quarter. So if they didn't get a chance to really robustly go into a specific topic, they can still join us in a class as an auditor later on for free. So we really keep that connection long-term, and we keep our relationships within the Foster School of Business. We have a huge alumni community, and it's the best of both worlds. Small cohorts, but this bigger community to build from.
Yeah. I think, Mara, you mentioned earlier about the on-campus immersion required at the beginning. Are there other opportunities for your students to get together kind of on campus?
There are. They tend to be more self-initiated. So when you talk about the online, this is our Foster Together. This is our time, which is it's very specified. It is scheduled out from the first day to the last day. full of academics, career mentoring, career networking, personal networking, team-driven academics, just about everything, and some social thrown in, because the important part about a team working together is that they really communicate and connect with each other. So I think some of the most valuable times people find when they're in the immersions quarterly is to really connect over coffee and just really find out who's who and what's important to them, and to connect with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. Hey, Liz, let's talk about kind of, the alumni and what they say about the program after they've got out of Quest. What do you think that they would, most kind of brag about?
Sure, that's a good question. I think that they, they've really talked a lot about just how different this experience is than a lot of programs out there, and how really applicable it is. And so many time and time again, they are indicating that the online MBA at Questrom has been, a catalyst for them getting a better job, or changing a job, or getting a promotion. And I think that they really talk a lot about their experiences, both with the fact, so for our live sessions, we're similar to Foster in that we have live sessions each week for 2 hours, and they're really special, really a great way for our students to make those connections. And the team taught by multiple faculty members that are experts in the field. And then we have an additional team of learning facilitators that are really there to support them throughout the program. So I think just how different the program is, and it's so different than, I think a lot of, and luckily this is changing, but a lot of people, when they think online learning, they think you're just going to watch a couple videos, get a test, and take an exam and get a grade. And that's, not the experience out there anymore. And I think our students are really excited by how interactive our program is, how much they can make these connections in the classroom, whether that's through debates or unique speakers that are coming to their sessions, or the teaming that they do. Our students do 2 to 4 hours of teaming every week. And I think that's something that's really important to Questrom. We wanted our students to have that teaming experience. And so I think that the fact that they can get these connections with their classmates, the teaming, and getting a really incredible MBA and having that experience, but doing it from wherever they are in the world, is what our students would say has had the most impact on them.
Yeah. Carla, if I asked your alumni why they chose Jack Welch, what do you think they would say?
Oh, well, I had the opportunity to actually talk with one of our alumni before I came on here. So I asked him that question. I was previewing those. And, the one thing he told me was, he really researched the program. He saw that, we were the #1 educational influencer on LinkedIn. He started looking at the caliber of the other graduates of the program, and the networking that potentially could come along with it. He loved the flexibility nature of the program. So as I mentioned, 99% of our students are busy working professionals and working 60 hours plus a week. So he loved the flexible nature of the program, that he could still get a top tier MBA program, but be able to not have to lose momentum in his travel and his busy work life. And so that was a big attraction for him. And then of course, he loved the idea of learning all these great, concepts and principles from top names in business today.
Absolutely. And Mara, the Foster alumni.
I think they would say that it's absolutely one of the best investments that they've made, that they have really come out with very translatable skills. They use it all the time, and the continuing connection with the program. Most of our students really appreciate, in fact, they rave about the Foster Together immersions on a regular basis. That's what keeps the beauty of both the online and the in-person component, so finding that good mix. And ultimately just having us as a Foster as a resource as a whole. They are individuals to us. We know the names of our students as they come through the door. We go through the journey with them, and so they're not just a student to us. They're just everything. They're personal and professional life, and so we become very invested in their growth, both as a student and as an alumni. And so we just continue to maintain that connection.
All right, very good. Carla, we'll go back to you. Pitch back on the hot seat. Given the digital and virtual world that we all live in over Zoom right now, for example, how would you say the online MBA program helps to prepare students for, the kind of new business world that we're all living in?
Oh, I think there couldn't be a better platform because, as you said, the world is flat, right? We have students from, like I mentioned, 83 countries around the world. So one of the, unique things about our program is that they'll be you might be in class with a CEO from Hong Kong and somebody just starting their career in New York City, but you're, students from all levels, from CEO and on down, from all over the globe. The diversity in the program is incredible. And I think that's, where the world is moving, is becoming more diverse. It's becoming flat. And to understand, how other people across the globe think about business and how they do business, and, hearing from other perspectives in all stages of life from all over the globe, I think really is going to prepare students for the future, the future as the world, as it's constantly evolving.
Yeah. Yeah. Liz, what about you?
I would say to echo that for sure. And also just the real world application that these students have. Our students will talk about how they literally will learn something in a live session and the next day apply it at work. And I think that's probably true for all of our programs. And I think that is really what these opportunities of doing a part-time program allow you to have that ability. And we have students that I was talking to a student, and he had to build sort of a data dashboard in our second module. And he used his own company's information, and he ended up giving the data dashboard to his company. And they were like, "This is amazing. We are going to use this now constantly." And so the real world application, but just the ability to take what you're learning, you don't have to wait 2 years to start applying it. You can start applying it literally the next day. And we have students that literally after our orientation module are already like, "This has changed my life." And so I think that is something that anyone looking at any of these programs can take away, is that ability to have that real world application right out of the gate is huge. You can't put a price on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mara, with your hybrid format, how do you think this, prepares students for, the business world where a more traditional program might not be able to?
I can't echo what Liz and Carla have said more. Really, we're in a global universe now. And with the online dynamic, especially post-pandemic, where we've already been working globally, but now we're so attuned to this online business world. And I really think that the hybrid program models what real life is. We are constantly evolving. Our curriculum never stays the same. It changes from quarter to quarter. And we listen to the students, we listen to the companies that we have connections with, we listen to our alumni, and we're really constantly in this state of evolution with our curriculum development team. I think that there is a flow or a recognizable attribute to having an MBA globally. That is an equalizer. I can't think of a better way to say it, but it really just comes down to, these are all shared skills that people have when they complete an MBA program.
Yeah, very good. So Liz, one thing about some MBA students, it's very much about the job or the promotion or the career that they want to build. What do you say the degree actually does for, just developing the type of leader they want to be, or how, a business school can just like aid in, management of others or an overall career rather than a specific goal? What do you say to students about how a Questrom MBA can help with that journey?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's all about the soft skills, right? Like, obviously you're going to learn finance and accounting and things like that, but we also have an entire module that's on ethics and leadership, and it really forces you to think about who you are as a leader and who you want to be. And it forces you to ask yourself some tough questions and challenges you to sort of think outside the box and use the guiding principles to really develop those skills. And I'm sure that's true at a lot of schools. It's sort of having the self-assessment. And I think that for students that are thinking about this, you're going to get an MBA, it's going to open doors, but also what other skills are you going to gain, whether that's networking, whether that's becoming a more effective leader, a more ethical leader, someone who brings new ideas to their workplace. Our sort of theme at Questrom is creating value for the world. And I think of that through creating value for yourself, creating value for your company or organization, and really creating value for the world around you. And so I think thinking through those soft skills, those are the other things that you're going to get by doing an MBA program. And at Questrom, we foster that right out of the gate with one of the very first modules you take, which is really building on ethical leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. Mara, what are your thoughts on that?
I actually would concur with what Liz says in that we have a moment in time to really build the future. At Foster, we are very focused towards building leaders, fostering leaders, insights, progress to bettering humanity. That ethical component is really important to us. If monetary gain is your sole goal, the hybrid program is not necessarily a great fit. We're looking at people who are coming in from nonprofits, from corporate, who are really having an opportunity to make a difference in their companies, in their institutions, in their organizations. And we're proud of that build. These are human beings, individual people who really, there's more to life. They want to really build out a full professional and personal life, and we can just play a part in that. And as part of that, we've really taken an interest in and introduced a social impact scholarship. So we actually award a scholarship annually now to a student who's entering our program who really has the chance to make an impact in the social realm as a leader. And so it's very much a core part of our commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Carla.
I absolutely love what Mara and Liz both just said. And I love that the synergy between all of our programs, because I was going to say, and I am going to say that, one of the greatest things we hear from our alumni is their confidence as a leader has grown exponentially, that has transformed them in a way that they never expected. It has that transformational nature of it. I tell students all the time when they're thinking about doing this MBA program, this MBA journey is not only going to change the way you look at the world, but it's going to change the way the world looks at you. It's going to get you a seat at the table. But it's also our very first course also is leadership in the 21st century, because that's foundational. And that's where students find the most transformation happening, because they learn so much about themselves, not only as a leader in business, as a leader in their community, as in their families. It helps them, navigate their relationships better. It's not just strictly related to their career. It transforms every aspects of their life. And that's why we have them, regardless of concentration, they're always going to start with that leadership in the 21st century. So I love this energy here. And I think that it's so important for creating our next generation of leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So, looking to the future over the next, 3 to 5 years, how do you think the online MBA and specifically the Foster hybrid MBA is going to evolve? What do you see coming?
I don't know that I could say that I could see what's coming, but I could say we're absolutely evolving every day. We're constantly in a state of evolution. We're constantly seeking to bring in courses and topics and discussion that are of interest to our students, that our faculty members and our professional relationships bring to the table, and continuing to build on that. I think that there is it would be easy to say that we want to evolve into this really cool technology realm, but at the core, we want to focus on the academics. We want to focus on the relationship building, the real core skills that we think make a strong MBA graduate.
Yeah, absolutely. Carla, how about it, Jack Welch?
Well, I would also say, and I wrote this down earlier, we're constantly evolving as well. I don't know where exactly that's going to take us, but I do know that we're constantly taking the feedback from our students and our alumni, which, as I mentioned earlier, was so important to us. How can we get better every day? What can we do to make this experience better for you? Our faculty, I think are just going to continue to, increase their level of engagement with already they're so engaged. And that's one of the most surprising things I hear from the alumni is how personally engaged the faculty have become with them, from the personal phone calls, the one-on-one sessions, that type of thing. I think we're going to evolve in that direction as well, and just continue to improve on all fronts, whether it's technology, or constantly upgrading our courses so that they're relevant content, bringing in new experts of practice. We just brought in a new expert of practice. I'm so excited. She's one of our graduates. She graduated last year. Her name is Sharon Leidy, and she's phenomenal. So she graduated the program. We made her an expert of practice up there in league with the Warren Buffetts of the world. I enrolled her myself when she started the program. She was in transition when she was going through the program. Sharon became the president of Godiva Chocolate. Then she went on to become the CEO of the Vitamin Shop. So, exciting things like that. Just, more success stories from our own students.
Yeah, absolutely. And Liz.
Yeah, I think that very similar. I think we all take sort of the feedback from our students and our alums very, very seriously, and we're constantly looking for continuous improvement. We actually have someone who's in charge of continuous improvement for the online MBA. Where we're going, I mean, who knows? I think that in some ways, I think that we're really just looking to build upon this idea of lifelong learning. We are implementing sort of an AMBA plus one. So once you finish your online MBA, this idea of adding on additional courses that you may be able to do, sort of something like a certificate and something like digital transformation. So that's something I see us building upon in the future, doing more opportunities for students to meet up in person. That's something, COVID, we had all these big plans of worldwide meetups, and COVID kind of slowed us down in that regard. And that's something I think we really like to see sort of come about. So a lot of really great things, but I think what's most important is getting that feedback from students and keeping the coursework relevant and constantly evolving the coursework. And that's something we too take very, very seriously. Carla used the word transformative. I think that is really what this degree is for people. And so we're constantly thinking how we can innovate and bring it sort of to the next level. And I don't totally know where we're going to be in 5 years, but I'm really excited to sort of see where we go from here.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we just have enough time for each of you to kind of give your last pitch or tell us, something that we didn't yet get to cover. And then make sure, please, you tell people that want to learn more how to get in touch, the best way to get in touch with your programs. And Liz, we'll just stick with you.
Sure. I think I would say my last pitch is to get beyond us. We are paid to say good things. So talk to current students, talk to alums. I'm sure all of our programs have admissions ambassadors, ways that you can connect with faculty, ways that you can connect with students. There's a lot of really fantastic programs out there. Each of our programs today might on paper sound similar or different, but you really want to get to know these schools. And this is a huge investment in yourself and in your future. And so my advice is to sort of get beyond admissions, and whether that's sitting in a virtual class or whether that's talking on Zoom with a student or whatever that looks like for you, that is my advice always, is talk to students and really get the real deal. You want to make sure that these programs are the right fit for you and your learning goals and what you're looking for. So that's my big advice, is to do that. And you can find me. I don't know if I'll put it. I can put it in the chat, but I will. My email address is E for Elizabeth, and my last name Wagoner, so ewagoner@bu.edu. I'll throw it in the chat, or to make your life easy, you can just email any questions to mba@bu.edu, and my team and I would be more than happy to help.
That's great. Thanks so much. Mara, how about you?
I can't say any more than what Liz just said. Absolutely. Take advantage of our admissions events. So these are the opportunities to connect with faculty, witness a class online, spend some time with our alumni. We have coffee chats with alumni. We have coffee chats with existing students. If you're a student of specific interest, a woman in business, a military or veteran, connect with us. So we have a very one-on-one approach to counseling. So make an appointment with one of our admissions committee, and we will put you in touch with the right people. We also are dedicated to making sure that you find the right program for you. It's not just about us being the best program. We want to make sure that a student succeeds in the process. So we spend a lot of time with folks before they actually come through the admissions process. So people are really clear about the program they're coming into, whether it's a good fit. So there might be other programs at Foster that are a better fit for them. So come chat to us. Our email address is uwhybrid@uw.edu. You can also link on our Foster Hybrid MBA website for all the admissions events. And I call them admissions events, but they're really just relationship events. They're just learning about our program. So please connect with us, make an appointment, spend some time with us, and let's figure out what works great for you.
Great. And Carla, last word.
Yes, absolutely. Similar to what Mara and Liz said, I encourage you to, connect with other students and alumni. We have our own Jack Welch Management Institute networking group on LinkedIn. Anybody can join it. You don't have to be a student or even an applicant to join it. So go join that Jack Welch Management Institute networking group. You can find other alumni in your area, in your industry. Start chatting with those folks. Also, every Thursday at 12 Eastern time, we host a live Q&A similar to this. Anybody can join that. If you go to our website, jwmi.com, and just fill out a request for information, one of my team members will be in contact with you right away. And then also, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Carla Bates Mueller on LinkedIn. Carla Bates is my middle name on LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn, connect with me there. We can start the conversation. And like I said, there's lots of ways to get a hold of us, but jwmi.com is our website. It will have all of our contact information. You can fill out a request for information, or I challenge you, just go ahead and fill out that application. Even if you're not sure, you're just still doing your exploration. The great thing about anybody who applies to our program, once they've done their basis documents, then you can actually get in there and get a preview of the first couple of weeks of class on iCampus. And so it's really fantastic. So anyways, I just encourage you, whichever direction you go, keep moving in that direction. An MBA, like I said, whether it's with us or wherever you find your home, is going to really, change the way you look at the world. It's going to change the way the world looks at you.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank all of you for all your time and insights today. It was very informative. And of course, thanks to all our viewers. You'll find more conversations like this with other great schools either on our YouTube page or on our website at poetsandquants.com. And so until next time, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Thanks, Carla and Liz.
Bye.